Hi, welcome back to my channel. I haven't filmed a video in a couple weeks now, I think it has been. I was actually sick and lost my voice and this whole ordeal. I wanted to do a labor and delivery story on my first child, and that was with my daughter. She is now 5.5. I had her in 2013, and I was 19 years old when I got pregnant with her and 20 when I had her. So let's just jump right into it. I had a pretty normal pregnancy. Well, not so normal. I had to take hormone suppositories for the first trimester due to the miscarriage I had before her. I did take that for the first trimester. Second trimester, I had to do blood work, and blood work came out. Hormone levels were perfect and normal, so I didn't have to keep taking them. I went into labor, I want to say for sure a day before I had her. And it was just little contractions here and there. I had my 30, I had her at 38 weeks or 37 weeks. I know it was 2 weeks before, so yeah, I was 37 weeks when I had her. I had my 37 week checkup, and she pretty much scraped my membranes. That was Thursday. Friday, I woke up, had to run errands with her father, and we were running errands, and then it so happened that I felt leaking, almost just like having excessive discharge, and it wasn't liquidy, it was almost just like a drip, and that was it, and it wasn't too excessive. It just so happened that day my mother-in-law went in to the emergency room, so we were there for a while, and then we had got home around 4 or 5:30. Then at the time, my mom had just gotten home at the same time, and this was Friday evening, and I was telling her, I was like, I don't know if I should just go in. It could be nothing. But then I had remembered the story that my cousin had told me about her husband's co-worker's wife. She had a high leak and she didn't know, and the baby dried up and passed away. So that scared me. That was in the back of my mind the whole time this was going on. So then my mom was just like, you just have to go in, just check, you never know. The worst that could happen is them saying, no, you're fine, go home, see you when the baby's ready. So I don't even think I packed a bag, actually. I grabbed my insurance card, and I had sweats on, and me and my boyfriend went to the emergency room. It's a local hospital around here. And then, they were like checking my centimeters. I was only like a centimeter. And they're like, are you sure? They even checked the strips to check if you're leaking the fluid from the sac, and it came back negative. And for some reason at that time, I think the shifts of the nurses were switching. So the nurse that I had when I got to the emergency room was very it wasn't a big deal to her to try to exercise everything that could go wrong, or, everything before you're discharged home. So in between that, them checking the strips, the nurses switched out shifts. So I had this new nurse, two new nurses. One was a new nurse and one was a nurse that's been there for a very long time. And they're like, it's coming back negative, the strips, so we're gonna just to be sure, we're gonna send you to get an ultrasound and make sure that nothing is leaking and everything is great. So this was at, I want to say 7 or 8 by now, maybe almost 9 o'clock. They put the paperwork in to get an ultrasound. I am waiting in the delivery room because they put you in a, labor and delivery level, and then they put you in the room where you could possibly have your baby. So then me and my boyfriend were waiting, and they haul us down to the ultrasound, and at this time I don't think they ever allow you to look at the ultrasound video while they're doing the ultrasound. I think just for privacy reasons, and if they don't really know, and it's always just, they're not your doctor, so they can't really explain what's going on or what they're seeing, so that whole thing. But as soon as she started doing the ultrasound, I kind of got this vibe from her, like she had that look and she was still at the top of my stomach. So I looked at, at my husband, or then my boyfriend, and I just was like, okay, maybe this is it, like, she finished, she cleaned my stomach, she said, okay, I'm gonna roll you back up into your room. Literally, as she's saying this, I start getting the biggest contractions I've ever gotten. Well, at the time was before my second, but I was like, I think I'm in labor. I am getting contractions. And so they hook me back up and they're like, yep, you're having contractions. We're keeping you here. We found a high leak. And so that's not good. Pretty soon, we just want to monitor you. So I'm like, I knew it. Like, I knew there was something leaking. Like, I had that gut feeling. So there was for sure a leak. It was confirmed. I called my mom, and I told her, and they were like, before we put you on IV and everything like that, you might want to eat. And I said, heck yeah, I want to eat. So my mom brings us Subway, and pretty much it was go time. And they said, do you want the epidural? And I was kind of hesitant at first, and then they kind of talked me into it. It was just, this could be your last night of sleep. So you want to either sleep comfortably through the night, or do you want to have to be up all night because you're suffering from contractions? When she said that, it sold me. I said, let's do the drugs, and let's, get this bad boy installed. I think at this time it was already by 11 by the time they did the epidural. And it was a male that did the epidural, and they basically had everyone that was with me stand in front of me. They didn't want anybody to see the epidural, just because being installed inside your spine, and I think it's just, they explained they don't want me to see their face expressions and it scare me and I move and something go wrong. Totally fine. I don't want nothing to go wrong anyways. So this is 11 o'clock. I think it totally kicked in right away. I didn't start feeling pain. My mom, my sister went home, So it was just me and my then boyfriend. We went to sleep. I remember exactly how it felt when my water broke. And I remember looking at the clock, and it was 6 o'clock, and I had to yell because the room was pretty big, and my fiance was sleeping on their pull-out couch or bed, whatever it is, and I didn't really yell. I just called for the nurse and I said, I think my water broke, because that's what woke me up, was a big gush. Just everywhere gushed, and I didn't even move. I just pushed the help button for the nurse's desk, and I said, I think my water broke, and she's like, oh, okay, we'll be right there. Literally 2 minutes later, they're in here and they're like, yep, your water broke, it's time. At this time, he's waking up and he's like, whoa, like, okay, like, it's go time. They're like, well, it might take a while, you know, it's just your water is for sure broken. I want to say an hour in, contractions started getting worse. I could totally feel, and I hadn't pressed the button for the epidural because I was asleep the whole time, so I didn't press it other than the one time that right before I went to sleep. So it was kind of wearing down or wearing off. So that was great. And then I pretty much they were just bringing everything into the room that was getting prepared for the baby. Basically the incubator, the stuff, and legit just checking me every 5 minutes to make sure I'm still however many centimeters. And it got to 8, it was 8 o'clock, and then I just felt pressure, so much pressure down there, and I kept telling the nurse, like, I have the urge to push. She's like, okay, you know, you can push, but you can't push that much. And I'm like, I can't push that much? No, I don't, I'm gonna push. Like, my body was just telling me to push. And so that's what I ended up doing. I kept pushing, and she's like, the head is there, I need you to wait until the doctor. I swear, like, a whole swarm of nurses came in, and I'm like, no, I have to push. Like, I'm pushing. Like, she's like, oh my god. And she was new, so she was like not expecting it, like, to have to deliver the baby herself. And so I'm like, no, I have to push. I'm pushing, and literally her head was out, and she just went into action. The nurse went into his position, and the older nurse was kind of talking her, like, giving her advice on how to do it, and just, you know, she was doing fine. Everything was great. I loved my nurses. They were awesome. So it was right when the head was coming out, she pretty much plopped down there, and then the doctor walked in. And just a heads up, sometimes when you go into an emergency, but if your doctor isn't on call and you're not on a scheduled C-section, you are sometimes likely to get a different doctor for your birth. I did not know that, so it was a male that was pretty much there. He had like these glasses on that there were like the total 70 glasses. They're big old glasses, and I could literally see everything through his reflection off the glasses. And so I saw her being born. They are like, are you ready to hold? Like, they just put her on me, and she was just everything. It was so fast. I literally pushed maybe 4 or 5 times. It was within 8 o'clock of me feeling like I had to push to 8:15 she was out. So it was pretty fast. I did not tear, which is amazing. I just remember when I was pushing, I was like, am I gonna feel it? Because I was feeling everything. I was feeling her head coming down. I was feeling the pressure of her body, her shoulders, her just everything come out. And they plopped her on my chest, and then it was just relief after that. It was just like amazement that the pain was gone. And then then I delivered the placenta. I did see that. That was pretty interesting because for a first-time mom, you don't really know what to expect or how the pain is or the pressure or anything. And I was very lucky to be very fast pushing process, because I've heard of moms definitely pushing for a very long time. So it was very easily, she came out, she was 6 pounds, and 6 pounds and 5 ounces, I think, and it was 8:15 she was born, or 8:30, one around there, 8:15 I think. And I didn't tear, and they were like, good job, this was fast. And I mean, literally the doctor was there for like only, I want to say 5 minutes of him just catching her, putting her on me, and then the placenta being delivered. And then the one thing that we didn't really get to experience the first time around was cutting the umbilical cord. He did not get to do that. I don't know why they didn't offer for him to do it, or even asked, I guess. That was one thing that was kind of a sucky situation, maybe because he was a male doctor, I don't know. But yeah, she was latched on and we were set, and it was amazing and such an overwhelming experience to go through. And it was totally eye-opening for somebody that's 19 and having this whole big responsibility, you know. It was amazing. But yeah, that was my labor and delivery story, and it was pretty fast. I mean, a little scary, but pretty fast. The only thing that I think I ever worried about going into the emergency room the day before I had her was, it was basically just the needles part. I hate needles. I hate them. But yeah, and that was pretty much my story. I hope you guys enjoyed my story, and if you liked it, give this video a thumbs up and subscribe if you're not subscribed, and comment down below. I'd love to have a discussion, or have any questions I'll answer. Thank you for watching.